our post Wrestlemania show. We're going to jump right into it. I'm here with Zach. Say hi, Zach.
Hello.
And I don't know about you, but I had a good time watching night two. Night one had, I felt like maybe 2, 3 good matches, but was a little rushed. But night two, mostly a pretty good time. Ended a little bit earlier, but I think we'll start right at the beginning. We didn't do last night because I didn't really get things up and running. So we'll just kind of start with night one.
Technical issues.
Um, and I was really night one really like the energy didn't feel like it was there with the crowd. Night two, I felt it a lot more, especially it got going with the Bailey match. Uh, it felt like it to me. Night one, I didn't really feel it. But like night two really kind of felt like I wanted to be there with that energy. It kind of got me motivated to go to Raw and Indie when they
Mhm.
come in July. And so I bought my tickets, and they'll be going to Evansville and SmackDown in September, I saw. So I'll probably, when those
Oh,
tickets come available, I will probably go to that too. Um, so I will probably be WrestleField, and I'm saving up for a couple WrestleManias coming up because I need to go to one at least once or
that's still
twice
on
in my
my bucket
lifetime.
list. That's on
Well,
my bucket list.
2030 Indianapolis.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I,
2027
um,
I'm saving up for Nashville, and 2030 I'm saving up for Indy.
um, Indie one, I am probably going to have to somehow make that one happen.
Oh, I'm
Like
already
that.
saving up.
So that basically that would be probably going in the Lucas Oil, of course, and
Oh,
that.
like Raw and all that. SmackDown's going to be in Gainbridge, and then WrestleMania is going to be
Yeah.
at Lucas Oil. It's going to be crazy.
Oh yeah. Oh, dude, the great freaking venue to have it. Like
You can
that's the awesome
imagine,
thing about that stadium.
can you imagine them doing all the like shops and everything, all the everything at the convention center and everything, and
Oh, I'm
uh,
gonna that one I would probably be taking that whole week off
oh
just
yeah,
to be there for the show. I would
oh
rather have
there.
to save up for like 2 years just to be able to afford everything. But yes.
No, I'm saving up for 6 years. No, I'm planning on making a whole ordeal out of it. Um, so we'll just quickly run through this. Quickly, well, we'll say methodically, not quickly. So just first match was Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch. I actually thought this one was personally the best singles match of the night one. I know a lot of people
Mm,
want to say Zayn and Gunther, but I thought it was predictable. Uh, I actually thought Rhea and Becky Lynch was the best singles match of the night. I am an absolute fan of Rhea Ripley. I think she is an absolute stud in the ring, and she's just a goddess.
she's well, you say it's her and Bianca are probably your two main pillars of the women's division right now. Those are who you're really, pretty much holding up the whole division by. They're basically Stone Cold and The Rock for the women's division right now. I think this, yeah, I disagree with you on there. I thought this match was far more predictable than Gunther and Sami Zayn.
Oh,
But
you
re-
knew Sammy was gonna win that 2 months ago.
I
You
mean,
know they were like, Sammy
roughly,
can't win it. No, he's never gonna win it. That was all John Cena all the way. Come on.
uh, it's basically redoing like the Sami Zayn stuff from NXT, of like him not being able to win the big one. Then of course he finally wins the big one. Yeah, But I thought that match was more exciting, to be honest. But Rhea Ripley,
I didn't think
this
it
was
was,
like,
well, we won't get to that. I didn't think that was
I,
exciting because I knew exactly what was going to happen. They were going to make
I,
it exciting for him to win.
I was a mark for it. I'll admit, I fell into it. I got emotionally invested. I was a mark
I
for that.
wasn't.
But yeah,
Why would
Rhea
I get
Ripley though,
emotionally invested on a guy that's already won the Intercontinental title 3 times? Who gives a
fair.
shit?
Yeah, but it's
Whoop de
also
freaking
Gunther's
do.
first. It's Gunther's first loss in what, the last like 2-3 years.
Gable should have been the
That's a
guy.
bigger win. I'm not going to argue that because I want to see Gable should have been fucking winning world championships like years ago. The dude is
Well, I think
absolutely
Zayn
amazing
should
in the
have been in
ring.
the world championship picture, and that was the whole story to begin with. He was like, I'm going to make it to the main event in WrestleMania. That's what he was talking about. Then all of a sudden, he's like, you can't beat Gunther. And it's like, where did that come from? What? But
Yeah.
like, you were already Intercontinental Champion, but anyways, we went off topic. But anyways,
Yeah.
uh,
So
I
Rhea Ripley, like it was honestly this just solidifying her as one of the pillars. She got the big win against Charlotte last year, which was overdue, and now she got a big win against Becky Lynch, your other like big name in the women's division, almost like legend status at this point, living legend, what you would say at this point.
who's going to
So
take a
yeah,
break,
just
I'm
helping.
assuming.
Yeah, I think that's also, we'll get into it more later, but I think Seth Rollins is probably is too, so that would make sense.
Oh, yeah, he's hobbling
Them
around at the end of that show.
he's beat it. We'll talk more, but he's beat the hell. He needs some time off.
But I will say, I think, women's division is looking good. I think Tiff Stratton is coming up from behind, looking really good. She's the
She's
reason, like, women like her are why I think they need a secondary title. And then you
oh
got,
yeah.
you know, like Jade Cargill and other big names that kind of like they're trying to push as big names that but then they got these real talented, Io Sky and Bailey, and they got all these talented girls, women, and I think they're at a point where they got a lot of them, and they need to put them in the forefront. They need to have an equal amount of men's versus women matches now. I think we're at that
I
point where there's
I
an
think
equal
we're
amount of talent.
I think we're starting to move to that point. Hence, like we had, was it another big multi on top of having the two women's titles match, but we had the big women's multi women's match, was probably also get Jade more exposure, but also kind of protect her a little bit, where they're not overexposing her in the ring as much, but still keeping her out there. But I think we're moving forward with that. That would, under Triple H, I can see us getting, us adding titles. I think it would be cool if they brought back, like, say, the European title name. Like, it'd be the Women's European Champion would be one of their
Well, NXT is
under
doing the
titles.
women's North American.
Yeah, so like, it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe like kind of bring back like those old names and maybe kind of play with like the designs with like a modern touch with it. That could be a fun thing to
I,
do with it.
I do like the European title, and when I think European title, I think of the great D'Lo Brown.
Oh yes,
That's my boy with that
and get the head
with the
shake,
plate with the what was it? He had the metal
the body
plate.
armor.
Yeah.
Yeah, you wear the body armor.
Um, and next we had Gunther and Sami Zayn. We pretty much talked about this. I was not a big fan of the story to begin with, but it is. I think
I,
Gunther's going to be pushed to the moon, anyways. I just think Sammy should have been already in the heavyweight picture. I think
yeah,
Gable should have been in the Intercontinental Championship picture, but I think it's going to be Gable, because Gable said, "Hey, you owe me." I think it's going to be Gable and Sami Zayn going at it for a while now.
That's gonna probably be a good, like, say, backlash match because they'll be Sammy's probably first defense. That could be really fun. Gable,
It
like we
is a good
said,
matchup. I think of good
yeah.
styles.
Then, like, Gable's, like we said, underrated. Like when he first came on the scene, they said he was picked it up just as quickly as Kurt Angle, but they never pushed him.
Same
And
pedigree.
he's just always been super smooth in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
It's like second nature to him. Like and we've been given touches like the last like year and a half of like they're gonna start doing more with him. So just here's the hoping on that.
Yeah. And I think it's
But
deserved because I'm tired of kind of seeing the stupid thank you kind of dumbass
he
kind of gimmick.
speaking of like speaking of like Kurt Angle, it's like Kurt Angle. He makes that stuff work.
He makes it
But
work.
let's have the silliness, but let's also mix in that seriousness of him just like throwing people around
Yeah.
like they did with Kurt.
But he's with guys like him. I think it's like I wish they had a cruiserweight title where like I'd like to see him and some of like luchadors and guys go at it like some really like
I,
like you were talking.
I would love. Sorry,
I just like to see some Dean Malenko looking guys against some high flyers going at it for like some really good wrestling matches, just like the cruiserweight days.
I think like if they, because we kind of had the failed relaunch of the cruiserweight division, but they did a lot of stupid things with it
It
after
was bad.
the cruiserweight classic. Cruiserweight classic was great, but then they just did a lot of stupid things after that with it. Under Triple H, I think it would be great to see him like take another crack at it with his vision on what wrestling should be, because we would get
I
those like
remember they had
classic style cruiserweight matches.
They had the light heavyweight. I remember that back in the day. Taka Michinoku and Funaki and all that too.
But no,
that was way back in the day.
Yeah,
when they were trying to mimic WCW. Next, I think this was the match of night one. To tell you the truth, the ladder match, the 6-pack ladder match, Judgment Day, DIY, Awesome
it was
Truth,
a fun match.
New Catch Republic, New Day, A-Town Under, and Tag Team Championships. And quite honestly, the way it ended up, the winners, perfect. A-Town Down Under, very obnoxious, getting under your skin, and I hope they keep doing it because they're freaking hilarious. I love them.
They were great as a heel tag team. Let's give them, and they're two deserving guys. Give them some shine. They'll do some fun. We'll do some fun stuff with them, and then, of course, like the big payoff of the Miz and R-Truth getting the other side.
So
I
happy
really
for
do like
R-Truth. But like,
oh yeah,
everybody hated Austin Theory. Everybody thought Austin Theory was so annoying. But like, it's true that like he does it until you like him. Like you have to play a good guy or good bad guy before you can be a good guy. That's just how it works. You can't just walk in and be a good guy. The Rock couldn't just walk in and be a good guy. Like you can't just be Hulk Hogan. Like you have to be it seems like you have to be a good bad guy before you can be a good guy. You know what I mean?
Well, usually what happens is the reason why that turns in the case is because you can't just come in doing the smiling baby face. It's especially you couldn't do that in the 90s, you couldn't do that in the 2000s, and you can't do that today. Like
for
we
the
just
most
don't
part
necessarily like it. Yeah, we just don't really like it.
Yeah.
So
very rarely. Sometimes you can. Some people it does work, but very rarely does it. I think if A-Town Down did get a proper heel going against them, they will get people start cheering for them, and they can turn good now. Or they can turn face.
They're both very, very talented. They know how to work the crowd. like I said, we're gonna have some fun matches. I just am loving the fact that they split the tag titles up. They didn't like create a new tag titles, which is split these up. Let's go back to having two tag belt sets of tag belts. It's because we got way too many tag teams, as we've talked about before. There's
Yeah.
way too many good tag teams that we can't just have like one set of belts. We need to spread the love a little bit more and have a lot more fun matches here.
Yeah, let's keep it that way.
Yeah,
Next we had the Usos, Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso. What do you think of that?
I think the story is great. The match little underwhelming, but just loving seeing it like getting the payoff and just kind of setting Jay up to be one of the top guys as what he already is. Let's have some fun here. But match wise, not my favorite of that. Probably one of the best storylines going into it, but probably most like lackluster match, I would say.
I just think there wasn't a lot of feeling to it. These guys work better as a team. They're not too
Very much so.
technical. Uh, and there wasn't any stipulation. Like, what are they fighting for? So,
It's a literal blood feud.
and
Probably should have had like something a little extra with it.
and the thing is, like, nobody comes out for Jimmy. So, like,
Yeah,
Jimmy's out here fighting for everybody else. Nobody gives a crap about Jimmy. Poor Jimmy.
that's and the thing about that, you could probably hopefully we can do some more fun storylines with that down the road. Like he could maybe like get because the way they've really like slow burned a lot of the bloodline things. That could be like something down the road. It's like I did this for you. I keep putting myself out there so you can get this win and keep your
Yeah.
belt and whatnot. But you don't ever do anything to help me.
But he
So
doesn't
that
get
could be some
enough
fun stuff.
credit for being a good heel in this match. He totally pulled
Oh,
that heel
a,
card
a,
very well.
a great heel like over the last year. He's he's that he's the guy like you keep around because it's to your benefit, but you don't necessarily like him. Like there's always those little touches of like, put your hand down. I'm not high fiving you after that. But
Like,
like you keep him around because it's to your benefit.
but like the way he pulled the "I'm sorry, Jay. I'm sorry,"
Yeah.
and then like, dude, that was Dominic Mysterio stuff, man. Like, that was pretty good. I liked it.
And I like with the separation of the two, especially with the early on when Jimmy originally got injured and they really had Jay like start going off on his own. Like it's clear Jay's becoming the superstar of the two at the moment, but Jimmy has found his place to really help sell the storyline of Jay becoming bigger star and also him still working in the bloodline and trying to make that work and whatnot.
They
Like
should
he
Jimmy should
he's
really really pull off that snake act. Just really just
oh it's he's
not
great
be
at it.
very good. Just like not be very good, just win by being a complete snake going
Oh yeah.
forward.
And not to mention, this could also be like a future feud with him and Solo once they finally like unleash Solo off on the world, let him do his own thing, where like they could really utilize him to sell off Solo when he just gets pissed off.
Mm-hmm.
He just wants to wreck people.
Yeah, right. And next
Because
we
what
have
was it?
oh god.
I'm sorry, but just like there's a funny meme where they bring up going into this weekend like Solo with like a confused look on his face. It's like when you realize that everybody else in the bloodline's going off to main event and get their own match, and you're the only way you're making this show is because of a run-in.
Right. Next we got
Yeah,
Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, and Naomi versus Damage Control. What do you think of this one?
It was all right match. Like it was fun match. Let's get these deserving ladies on the card. Let's do a little showcase for Jade, but still keep her protected because we got our two other girls we know can go and build up the match itself and let Jade come in and look dominant at the end. It was all right match. Nothing like to really like scream home about, but just nice little fun match to get all these women on the card.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was to get him on the card, and
Yeah,
pretty much put him in last second. I think it was really to showcase uh, Jade
it's
and
clear.
get them all in, pretty much. Um, and then next we have Rey Mysterio and Andre versus Santos Escobar and Dominic Mysterio. Thoughts?
Again, fun match. It was kind of all right. Try to put a little more shine on Andre or kind of guy we're returning. Just have a nice little fun match again. Get more people on the card. Let them all kind of have a little moment. But
Yeah, they
my only
pretty much.
disappointment.
Oh, go ahead.
I would just say my only disappointment is just my absolute favorite spot of Andre when they try to throw him out the ring and he just kind of catches himself in the ropes and lounges just to kind of show off how good he is.
Right.
Just that's my only disappointment. He didn't do that spot, but yeah, good match, good fun match.
Yeah, and him and Mysterio are fun to watch together. And yeah, Andre's
Love
so
this.
talented.
Yeah,
He's just an amazing wrestler to watch, and uh, I hope he doesn't get stuck in the whole Latino circle of death where they're all just in
they're
this
just
little
there.
storyline together forever and ever and ever.
Yeah,
Like
just
that's all they
treading
do.
water.
Yeah. Um, but
Uh,
they all got their little spots. Even
yeah,
the guys that weren't in the match. And yeah, it is what it is. And
yeah, just fun little match.
then
Was it
last
the
oh
nice little nod with Andrade and Selena Vega reuniting and embracing each other. And then probably just the funnest spot I thought was the Rey Mysterio up on Andrade's shoulders and then doing a dual crossbody out to the outside.
yeah, that was pretty good. And then the Rock and Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins in a tag team match. The Rock pretty much made it a bloodline rules match. Told the ref that if he counts him out, then he's fired.
Fired.
And the match just went on. And they pretty much everybody just did whatever they want. And it was I don't know. I did have a lot of fun watching the match, and it was fun watching The Rock get his first action in almost a decade. What is like 7-8 years or something like that. And I don't know. I just had a lot of fun watching The Rock actually run around and freaking cuss people out.
It it was a great fun time. Got me emotionally invested, and then the disappointment seeing at the end is like, oh no, they are, it's really now stacking the deck. Like, I don't know, I just start feeling, I guess I just went total mark for this, and then of course the main event of night two just pulling me in on that. But it does seem like there are rumors that The Rock might be doing more stuff, especially now. I guess he's on the board of the parent company of WWE now, but he might be. There might be more to like this final boss gimmick he's got going on that they might do more stuff with this later on, which now with the way things went at the end and set up that he got the pinfall in this match, that there might be more to what's going to happen here with him. So that'd be fun.
Well, I think there was. I mean, I think they do want him versus Roman next year, so they'll
I think
probably
this
build
would
up
be
to
like
that.
sowing the seeds. Hey, you couldn't get that done. Why could you not get this done? You had all of the advantages. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
we'll definitely have that.
you have shamed our family.
Yeah, yeah. There's definitely gonna be some fun stuff with that, but it'd be even cool if, like, say we maybe get something at SummerSlam with him and Cody. That could be fun.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, we'll see where that goes. But yeah, that was and it needed to happen. I mean, that stipulation I think needed to happen anyways, especially for the
It,
run-ins and everything.
it's kind of like it's that last little twist before we get to the end. It's the what do you say, the all is lost moment, as like American Dad points out, as
Right.
Barry's like, the all is lost moment. Just like
Right.
everything getting darkest before we get to the dawn, so to speak.
And then in between night 1 and night 2, I watched Godzilla X Kong, and the movie
I gotta see that.
didn't have enough Godzilla for me. And then I watched the show on Roku with the what is it called, where they have the WWE tryouts and everything. It's pretty good.
Okay,
Yeah, it's not too bad. I actually am enjoying it. I think I'm in like episode 4. Highly suggest it.
I'm gonna have to check
Okay.
it out then.
Yeah. I'm actually liking it. Um, night 2, we go into Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre, and I gotta say, I really like. Well, actually, night 2 it started out with Stephanie McMahon coming out, and
It was kind
she
of,
actually
yeah,
killed it as what's his name said. Um, McAfee said, was it McAfee or CM Punk? I forget who said that. But Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. I really liked the match. Drew McIntyre put on his best character work his whole WWE career this
agreed.
go around. And then after the match, he got in CM Punk's face, pushed CM Punk's buttons a little too much. Then Punk just tore him down, and then and then the Money in the Bank was cashed in, and I was cracking up. It was so good. Even
It's
though I was kind of sad because happy Drew McIntyre won it, but it was good. What'd you think?
it uh, like, first off, match was all right. Like, I kind of got a little irritated, just like he hit like what 20 freaking Claymore kicks in it before it even over, and
As
that was
I
like his
said,
main
that's
offense.
wrestling these days, though. That happened in every single
Yeah,
one of these
but
matches.
I'm with you on that. But like the way it was, like I say, other matches in the night, including the main event, I thought build up to those moments better than this. It just seemed like they kind of came out of nowhere, and I don't know, just didn't sit well, I don't think, with me. But love seeing the moment, and just the constant, like, kind of little, like, cocky heel moments with him throughout the match. And then, not to mention this whole build up he's done ever since he injured Punk, and just building up to this. It it sells it. Yeah, you maybe kind of feel bad, like he got his moment finally, but just the fact that he was just as cocky as he was, and wanting, like, to get in Punk's face, or even like throughout the match, is like, oh, look at me, I got this handled and everything. it set himself up to lose his title to getting the cash in. Like that is, he could have just walked away. We want to, he would be walking out as the champion, all of his desires being met. But just because he was showing that bit of cockiness and getting people's face about it,
But it
it cost
fits.
him.
It fits
It
though
fit.
because he's been rubbing it
Oh,
into
it does.
CM Punk this whole
It's the
time.
ultimate. It's the ultimate comeuppance. Like
Um,
you, if you didn't do that, you would have been the champ. But no, since you did all that, you just lost your belt.
but I
You've
think it's
lost your moment.
funny that everybody kicked out to every freaking finish all night, but he couldn't kick out the Damian Priest chokeslam.
After he gets hit with the little arm brace,
But they,
and then
yeah.
and then he can't kick
But
out of a
like,
single choke slam.
was it uh, uh, what's his name? He kicked out to the brass knuckles. I mean,
Oh yeah.
I mean, come on. You know what I mean? Um,
It,
so it doesn't make any. It's wrestling, whatever.
yeah.
it doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't. And this
Also,
guy
but
and
also,
Drew McIntyre is a beast of a man. I mean, come on. Compared to Randy Orton or Kevin Owens.
like he'd be able to destroy it. Yeah, he looks like he'd be able to destroy the entire roster.
I
Let's be
know.
fair. He's like 6'6", almost 280, and solid 280.
He's
Yeah.
he's 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 a freaking monster. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
um
But
but
but also the flip side of the whole deal is Seth Rollins, because as the whole build up, you're burning the candle at both ends, dude. To ultimately help set Cody up to be able to finish his story, Seth essentially loses everything.
mm,
So like all the so we just those facts there. We have some, when he comes back, if he is taking time off, we have some nice potential storylines, maybe heel storylines involving him down the road. Of you know, I helped you get all this, and I'm left with nothing. How this is unfair, pretty
yeah.
much.
Seth was limping around at the end of the night. He could barely move. I think
Oh yeah.
he's him and Becky are taking a break.
Rightfully so. They've both, they've given a lot, and let them rest and relax. And what's happened, and then some fun storylines coming back for. Oh yeah, let them heal up first, and we'll see them down the road.
And then but yeah, and it was nice to see Damian Priest get that world championship. But they kept calling him on Twitter bisexual Undertaker. So bisexual
Yeah,
Undertaker is now a champion. But
yeah, he looks like he's into a lot more BDSM than what Undertaker would be.
he is the first was the first Cuban champion in 50 years or something like that. World champion in 50 years or something like that. WWE.
Not bad.
Yeah. Next is Io Sky versus Bailey, and I felt like this is the first time this Philadelphia crowd made some noise at all. And this I gotta say, Io Sky does not get enough credit for how talented she is.
The commentary team kept mentioning that too,
Yeah,
trying to really help set her up for their, that she should be considered bigger than what she is
I mean,
in terms of star power.
yeah, she is
Um,
she has small stature compared to, I mean, even compared to the small women. I mean, but
but she
she's
can move.
she can move. She's little weird to look at with her entrance. I always say that, like, but
I
uh,
It's the thing though about that. It's rather unique to her, so
yeah,
that kind of helps differ it. you see it's a little strange, but it also helps you differentiate you from everybody else.
Well, yeah, but I enjoy watching her. I've enjoyed watching her since NXT,
Mm-hmm.
and she does her part. Bailey looked good out there, and she had the crowd behind her, and I thought it was a good match. I really enjoyed.
It's
I enjoyed it probably because of the crowd, though.
oh yeah. Well, outside of the main event, this was probably the story. This is probably what the story that had the best build slash the best payoff. The best combination of the two of any other match on here, minus the main event, you would say. And then they really, going into this match, I think they really worked and made Io Sky look out to be like a star during this match compared to past performances. They really showcased this girl's dangerous. Like you can't just like sleep on her. Like there's a reason why she has that belt.
Mm-hmm.
So like really help build that up, and then that ultimately, made for a better win for Bailey to finally, get her revenge. And then like as they kept pointing out, like this is her only major singles win at WrestleMania. So that's
Mm-hmm.
out of like what the almost 10, 8 years she's been on the main roster.
Yeah.
So that's a nice little deal there.
And I was thinking about how she was when she was first there, how she was a hugger versus how she is now, how far she's come, how different her character is.
And it's almost like now because this character first, when this character first came out, it was coincide with a heel turn, and now
Mm-hmm.
it's almost kind of come full circle because there's the crowd almost like going into a similar chant the way they used to when she was a proper baby face.
Mm-hmm.
You know, hey, oh,
But she was one of those characters that didn't need to be a heel at first. You can like her. You liked her when she first came
uh,
in. It was hard not to like her.
oh yeah.
Uh, Next, we have LA Knight versus AJ Styles. I personally thought the match was pretty rushed,
I think
but
we kind of talked about it before getting on here. Kind of seemed like a lot of the early matches on this card were kind of rushed at a kind of more safe time for later.
yeah. And it also was kind of a match that was like, we need to get these guys on here. It's AJ Styles and LA Knight. They're popular.
And really, it's like other than the Jay and Jimmy match, it was probably like the only match on the card. Like just already had like you'd say a good feud going into it. It's like there's really nothing at stake here except personal pride, and for these two names, there doesn't really need to be. Like both of these guys are now built up to such names that that's just a marquee match without anything attached to it.
Right. Yeah. You're just there. You see them. You're just like, cool. There they are. I'm fine
We
with
can
it.
have fun with this one.
Yeah. And I have
Freaking
really. What's that? Go ahead.
I was just saying, like they got AJ looking like a freaking unit right now.
Oh, dude. The guy is a monster.
It's like put on like what 15, 20 pounds of muscle by the looks of it.
I don't know. Puts me to shame. I need to start working. I need to do more yoga. Maybe if I do more yoga, I'll look like that.
Yoga and orange juice.
That's all I do is yoga. So maybe I'll just have to do more power yoga.
There you go.
No, but LA Knight went over clean, and
Hey, right decision. I think LA Knight keep building up. He's almost a megastar at this point.
yeah,
No pun intended
AJ's
on
had his
that.
championship run. I think LA Knight needs something.
And really, like AJ can probably go through a string of losses, have like one marquee like win, and then he's in the title picture. It's
Yeah.
he's a made man at this point.
They could do anything. AJ's a guy they could plug in anywhere, and
Oh yeah,
he'd do anything they want with him.
like in 2 months he could challenge for the world title, and we're not going to bat an eye to it. Yeah, let's go.
Right. Oh yeah. Well, he was a guy that like even in like TNA he was a he was he
He
was
was all over the
he
card.
was bringing in money. Like he can leave and go to AEW. I guarantee he's bringing in ratings. Like
Oh yeah,
he's gonna bring in money. So
yeah.
people are gonna buy his shirts.
Like you said, he's a made man at this point. He can do anything.
Next, we got Logan Paul versus Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens. I don't know. It was kind of silly.
Like, it was
What do you think?
entertaining enough. It was entertaining enough with the dynamic between Randy Orton and Kevin Owens, and it was just that constant deal. Like they more or less easily smack around the cocky, arrogant prick. Like, and the only reason why he kind of gets a chance is more or less that as Randy Orton and Kevin Owens starting to get distracted and fighting each other, and just him like just getting those opportunistic, uh, major opportunities, just like sneak and do his little heel antics.
Yeah, they kind of
Yeah,
made it sound like Kevin Owens was going to win, but
I was hoping for it.
well, I was kind of hoping Randy Orton just because I didn't just because they made it sound like Kevin Owens was going to win, and I didn't want Logan Paul to win.
I think anybody wants Logan Paul to win. Like, it's kind of infuriating because okay, he knows how to work the crowd. He's does very well as this heel, like cocky heel character. Like, I'm living it up as an influencer type deal. Just he's got the perfect character and whatnot. He's great in the ring. Like, it's kind of infuriating how good he actually is in the ring compared to what he should be. Like, he's far above what he should be in the ring. But it just coincides with that he is actually still a piece of shit human being. So you don't want him to see successful. So it just helps the heel character that much more.
Well, my thing
But yeah,
is he really going to defend the title? Like,
not really. And that's another infuriating thing is
yeah, I'd rather see people
let's
defend the
get him on.
title. Like,
Kevin Owens or Randy Orton's going to be there every week.
right. Like, okay, we saw Roman Reigns not defend the title. I get it. He had leukemia, yeah. Whatever. Logan Paul, he has no excuse. So
it's kind of Roman Reigns, at least this point, has kind of earned that limited schedule, and it builds up the mystique.
Listen,
Logan Paul has not earned that.
Look at how many title defenses he had compared to Hulk Hogan. It's it's comparatively low, very low compared to how long he's had it. He didn't earn jack
I'm not
shit.
questioning that. I'm talking about his work beforehand, before this title reign. Like, he was in there and day and out before this title reign. I'm not referring that he's deserved it through this title reign.
I wouldn't say anybody has earned to not defend. See, back in the day, you used to have to defend the title once a month. That used to
and
be,
they've been very lax about that.
That used to be the law of the heavyweight championship. You used to have to defend it once every month. I don't know what happened to that rule, but they don't do that anymore.
Oh, no. They do that when it's convenient.
Right. So,
Like, remember, they stripped the belt off of Daniel Bryan because he wasn't going to be able to defend it within a month. But then Brock Lesnar wins it, and then he goes to defend it maybe every 3 or 4 months.
right.
Literally, like right after Daniel Bryan gets stripped because of that reason.
I remember them making that part.
It's all convenient.
I remember them making that part of storyline back in the 80s. And them saying, no, you must defend it. You have to defend it every so blah, blah, blah. And like
you said,
then they just like don't even explain why somebody doesn't defend it.
No, they do it when it, like I said, it's a more convenience thing.
Oh, we forgot. It's pro wrestling, whatever.
Yeah. We're arguing about arbitrary rules in a predetermined sport.
Hey, Jim Cornette says that those rules are there for a reason, and he gets infuriated when those rules aren't passed. Just like when they're not holding onto the rope and they don't tag with their hands and they just pat each other on the back to tag. That's not a real tag.
Yeah, but then he'll come up with a storyline like that has nothing to do with holding on to the rules. But it's all right because he came up with it.
He also has terrible political ideology, but that's beside the point. Next is the Pride.
Oh, wait, you're gonna tell me an older individual who's more or less out of touch with modern day society has a horrible take how things should run?
Yes. The Pride versus the final